all year. We've done some other programs, but we've also been doing this in September, slowly and surely, and we're excited to finally see it come to today. To explain the whole process and sort of what you'll experience or how to move about the piece, I want to bring up our guest that's been here for the past few days and the composer of this piece. His name is Dave Macbride. He's a professor of theory and composition at the Hart School and a good friend of mine, and we've really enjoyed our time working with him over the past few days. And he's going to explain sort of how the piece works and how you might experience it tonight. So, Dave Macbride.
Feel free to come in. So welcome to Chester Percussion Park. You can see on the big screen here, there's the timeline that you have in your programs. Unlike Swiss trains, this isn't running right down to the second. It's just a guideline for the players to know where they're going to be, but it also gives you an idea of what might happen here. This piece really came about because I've written for percussion quite a bit, and I have been very interested in creating musical situations that are a little different from the standard concert hall tradition. And the real focus is on you and your individual paths through this piece. So you are welcome. In fact, you will have to walk through this building in order to go in search of sounds. Now, when you go to a theme park, some people like to approach it like, I've got to get to that first ride, the one ride I want to see right away, and then I'm going to go here, and I want to make sure I go to every ride in the park before I go home. If you want to do that, that's fine. It's not necessary. This is much less exciting than a theme park. In fact, it's rather low-key. Okay? So you can also take the approach that, okay, I'm going to pick and choose and see where we end up. It's kind of the way some people plan vacations. You know, some people like to have the itinerary all down. Others, let's improvise. Let's see what happens. You could actually sit in one place and experience the piece. It will come to you on some level. But the piece is not only about the music that you'll hear tonight. It's really about the space. It's about this building and listening to the acoustics of the building. And listening around the corner when you hear something and the way it bleeds into something else. Because the sounds of the pieces will bleed into each other. And that's the whole point. You can see that some of the pieces are happening simultaneously. Many of the pieces are played more than once. And that gives you the opportunity to, if you missed it the first time, you might want to go hear it the second time. Now, you're probably wondering about all the titles of these pieces in Percussion Park. Well, I know, when you go to a park, you like to do different things. And so all the titles of the different kinds of things that one can imagine doing in the park, from just sitting to goofing around to meditating to dancing to jamming, all these kinds of things that people like to do. I do want to bring your attention to the bottom of the screen because while there are all these pieces set up in various places, there are also the ongoing pieces on the bottom here. First of all, if you want to get to the second floor, I want to orient you that way. So go follow the signs and go up the stairs and keep following the signs up the stairs. Because if you try to go a different way, it gets rather complicated. And if you see a sign saying, go back, this is the end of the park, follow those instructions. Otherwise, you might end up at the deck, and that might be a problem, okay? So, that said, don't neglect a thinking. because that's going on the whole piece. Everywhere that we are, it's going on. But it's also going on in B22, which is kind of right over there and then down the stairs. And you should check out B22 at some point. And the other thing is resting, while it's officially in room 208, it can happen anywhere. If you need a break and you want to just sit down and maybe even find a quiet spot, go for it. Okay? If you're inclined, oh please, yeah, oh, you guys are good? Okay. We'll be moving different directions very soon. So if you noticed as you came in, there was a table full of percussion instruments. Now, at the very end of the piece, you see this meditation. And if you were really studying the program, you notice that the meditation, which is on the back, all performers, including audience. So you have instruments there, and you can take part in the final meditation. But if you can't wait for that, pick up a percussion instrument and you can be part of walking. In other words, you can add your own sounds as you walk. But I would like you to just be a listener and observer as well. Don't just sit there shaking something the whole time. You'll get me mad and I'll stop you. Right? But you don't have to pick up an instrument during the piece. It's up to you. You're paid customers, right? So you can do whatever you want. Are there any questions that I could perhaps begin to answer? Well, please. Sir.
Did you write this piece specifically for this building?
No, but now that I'm here, it's pretty ideal.
Thank you.
No, it's been done in North Carolina outside. It's been done at my school, Hart, which is a very different layout of a building.